digitalization is about data, and so for us it's actually very good because more data means actually more traffic, it means more security, it means two-way communication, and so for us this is actually great if EMI on the entire energy sector is getting digitalized, because that's very much the core of the Cyanconnode technology and business. So we very much welcome, digitalization. To promote energy efficiencies is actually basically the core of what we do. And there may be three ways to actually see this. One, say in Europe, EMI and almost any metering deployment will actually be driven by regulation, meaning by political forces to actually indeed go green. And so that's actually one way to actually drive the business, and that's why at Cyanconnode it's getting very important. Then you have some other driving forces a bit more on the business side. If for instance this is about to avoid the stealing of energy, and then it's actually again a way to make sure energy is used efficiently. And the third driving force is actually on the technical side, where basically if you have limited spectrum, limited resources available, and of course a limited amount of output power or electricity you want to use, well then you want to use that energy efficiently. And so in all those three layers, that's very much the core of what we do at Cyanconnode, and so that's very much what is driving our business. One of the key areas is going to be blockchain. This is forward-looking, but you see, once you master the connectivity in your energy sector, say in AMI, once you manage your connectivity with your meters, once you manage the security, and that's very important, and that's probably where people are right now, and once you manage the cost element, so that those devices are fairly cheap, and finally, once you manage the scalability and the high performance, so that you can deploy thousands, millions of devices, well then you are left with one single problem, but that's the biggest one, which is the data. And therefore, I believe very much in blockchain. Again, this is forward-looking, but blockchain will help with distributed ledgers, immutability, and of course the transparency element of blockchain, in making sure we can actually better manage all the metering data, or basically the data we get from the energy sector. And so I'm quite passionate about the future beyond all of the connectivity and security step we are in at the moment. At this stage, this is probably IP connectivity, simply because you will have, once all the devices in the energy sector are actually connected over IP, well then you can actually leverage what happens from some other communities back into the energy sector. And therefore the IP connectivity is going to be what will accelerate quite much a number of use cases or business cases. And so I believe very much in that driving force in this market. And indeed any proprietary solution, meaning not based on standards, but based on some proprietary technology, will not have that same leverage and will therefore not win at the end. And so IP connectivity is, in my opinion, what will actually drive everything in that market. The energy sector and IoT are actually crossing, and there are a lot of opportunities. And so if you are young and you actually want to get into that market, there are many opportunities, be it on the business side to actually get new business ideas. There are opportunities to actually just make some money because of growth, because everyone needs energy and everything needs energy. So that's for sure. And indeed on the technical side, there are still a number of serious challenges which have not been addressed. So there are quite many opportunities for young entrepreneurs to actually get in. It has been a slow-moving market or industry for decades, but this is picking up speed dramatically, and therefore, this is going to become very exciting in the future. And if I have one advice, well, that is to actually be patient, simply because any deep change requires time. And therefore, if you are a bit patient, well, there is going to be a reward at the end for anyone who wanted to actually write some code or think of new use cases or design some hardware. But you just have to be patient, because that's the secret for a real reward at the end. This is the first time I come to the Asian Utility Week. I've been to many of the same in Europe, where it's of course a bit bigger or a lot bigger in a way, but the meetings we have had so far are actually very good, and we are so well positioned at Cyanconnode to address so many of those technical and business challenges we see here in Asia, that we're actually getting a lot of customer traction. And so a lot of very good meetings, with important people, which matters, instead of, just people who want to shake hands. So I'm very pleased with what we have achieved so far, and I know that there are even more meetings coming up today and tomorrow. So a very good organization, in my opinion, and actually very good, people joining this event.